Hello everyone, on today's clip of Rant to Reason, I'm going to be talking about the weapons ban that was recently passed in Canada. But before we do that, make sure you click the subscribe button and click on the bell so you never miss a notification from Rant to Reason. But anyways, back to it. Prime Minister Trudeau, he announced a ban of 1,500 military-grade style assault weapons in Canada. So as a result of this ban, licensed gun owners are no longer going to be allowed to sell, transport, or even import or use these kinds of weapons in this country. There's going to be a 2-year amnesty period that's going to allow people that already have these guns legally to comply with this ban. So all Canadians have to abide by this new law by April 2022. If you do not get rid of your weapons by that point, then you could possibly face criminal prosecution. Even though there is an amnesty period, these guns can't be used anywhere in the country as of now. So owners can return their firearms, or they can export them as part of sales between now and 2022. So there are 105,000 guns that are currently deemed as restricted guns, but now they're going to be deemed prohibited guns. So some of the guns that are included in this new ban, they include M16, AR-10, AR-15, and the M4 carbine, as well as the Ruger Mini 14 rifle, the US rifle M14, the VZ58 rifle, and many more are included in the ban. I'm going to include the website that gives a rundown of the guns that are banned. So this ban does not include handguns, however, which is the commonly used gun for gang members. And the Liberals enacted this plan largely because of the unfortunate and just horrific tragedy that happened in Nova Scotia 2 weeks back, which has now been considered the deadliest rampage in Canadian history. So in case you guys are not aware of the details, an individual, he murdered 22 people. He murdered 22 people in various areas of Nova Scotia, and some of the guns he used are included in this ban that was just passed. And the individual that carried out this massacre, he used firearms that were acquired illegally in Canada, and also from US sources as well. And he also was not even licensed to own the guns. There have been critics that have went after this ban. They say that the new ban, it goes after lawful gun owners instead of going after criminals who commonly search the black market to buy weapons to then carry out crimes. I think the critics, they kind of have missed the point a little bit in their criticism, because we have to realize that there's a growing problem in Canada, which is that there are legal gun owners who are then reselling their guns on the black market, and then as a result, people who shouldn't have them are getting their hands on guns. So this is not just some problem that only criminals who aren't even allowed to have guns are in the first place are doing all the crimes. It's literally people who are privileged to have these guns who are actually engaging in criminal activity. These people that resell their guns, they're referred to as straw purchasers, just so you guys know. And I'm gonna show you this important statistic, but before 2012, about 75% of guns were smuggled into the country from the United States. But by 2017, about half of guns that were used in crimes were domestically sourced. So that means that half of the guns that were used in crimes were guns that were acquired from within the country itself. And I think there's a way that we can deal with legal gun owners reselling their guns on the black market to criminals. And one of the ways that we can do this is by implementing point of sale records. So what these do is that they help law enforcement have an easier time of linking straw purchasers and illegal firearms traffickers. And Andrew Scheer, he was attacking the Liberals for the new ban because he said that they were wrong in using this tragedy in Nova Scotia to push their ideology and make major changes to gun laws. I don't really see it that way, because the Trudeau office, the Trudeau administration, they have been proposing to do a assault weapon ban since he took office. So like that whole notion that they're just trying to push this all of a sudden now, it's not true. I mean, what else do you want them to do? We just witnessed the deadliest shooting in Canadian history. It would be foolish of them to not do anything and then see future horrific tragedies like this happen. So I don't think that they were trying to use this to push their agenda or whatever. Like they were taking a logical step to reduce the chances of this happening again. So I think that Andrew Scheer is just a moron, but that's nothing new. So there are some people that they think that it's illogical to ban assault weapons, but not ban handguns, because handguns, as you know, they are the guns that are commonly used in gun-related crimes in Canada. But my thing with that is that you can't really compare the carnage that's caused by a handgun and a gun like an AR-15. A regular handgun leaves linear tracks through its victims, and the the tracks are roughly half the size of the bullet, okay? So this type of gun is low velocity and it often leaves non-fatal wounds. But when you look at the bullets of an AR-15 and similar guns, they travel almost 3 times as faster as a handgun, right? Also, the muzzle velocity of a standard round from an AR-15 is 3,200 feet per second, and that makes it accurate up to a whopping 500 yards. Also, what this means is that the shooter can cause more damage with being less accurate, and the wounds are often lethal when you use a gun like an AR-15. So I think that this ban makes total sense. It was the right thing to do. And again, we don't have a constitutional right to bear arms. And people who hunt, they can still use shotguns or whatever. We don't need an AR-15. A handgun is more than enough to protect yourself. So I think that this was the right step. And my thoughts and prayers goes out to the people that lost a loved one in this horrific tragedy. I don't see what Sheer was saying because it just didn't make any sense to me. But that's all I got to say about that. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Until next time.